Hey everyone, what is up? It is Jazzy J here in the building, Jasmine Victoria. Let's get into the scores. Perceptual ability is pretty much similar to boot camp. The angle ranking was a little bit harder because I remember angle ranking was one of my top. Angle ranking and cube counting and hole punching were my top. So angle ranking was a little more difficult. I felt like the angles were a lot more. The angles were It was just harder, in my opinion. But for the most part, it was similar to boot camp. Quantitative reasoning. So, quantitative reasoning in this section, I did get a 14. I didn't expect anything more because I didn't study for this section. So I got a 14 without studying. Most of my questions were comparison questions, so a lot of sufficiency. It gives you a scenario, it gives you A and B, and then you choose if A and B are related or if A is sufficient, if B is not, vice versa, whatever. So those types of questions, I did get some A is greater, B is greater, B is B. Those types of questions. Those are also comparison questions, but they'll give you like a formula, and you have to find like if A is a greater quantity, B is a greater quantity. So I did get those. I was freaking out because I'm not good at probability, and I had no probability questions. I only had one probability question. So funny story. So my question was, Johnny has 4 red socks and 8 blue socks. How many, or what is the probability that Johnny pulls 2 red socks out of the drawer? And so in my head, I was like, this should be easy, right? But I had this headache. I couldn't think clearly. I was freaking out. I was stressed, and everything just went over the window for me. And I was like pissed because I was like, bro, like I know how to solve this problem, but I cannot get it. Like I'm not comprehending it right now. Like I cannot. And so I was doing everything in my power. I took the 15-minute tutorial in the beginning, and I was like doing everything in my power to calm down, but it just didn't happen. So I remember like during the exam or during that question specifically, I was rereading it like 5 times. I think I reread it like 5 or 6 times. And in my head I was like, Johnny has 4 red socks and 8 blue socks. And that's a total of 12 socks. What is the probability that he gets 2 red? And then I was thinking again, I was like, Jasmine, he has 4 fucking red socks and 8 fucking blue socks. What is the probability? But like, I thought that was funny because in my head I was like yelling at myself, but like I could not get it. I don't know why. Well, I know why. I was too nervous to think. So there's that. Reading comprehension for the most part, it was. I was a little thrown off because I was thrown off by the smallest things because I was so used to boot camp setup or boot camp's structure. So the DAT is a little, I mean, they have a little bit of differences. For the reading comprehension, what they do is they split it, you get 3 reading or 3 journals. So basically, what they do is they give you the full journal. And then when you click next, then you see the question. It's a split screen, so then you'll see the questions on top and then the passage on bottom, similar to boot camp. But I was kind of thrown off that they gave you the full paragraph or the full reading material in the beginning before you get to the split screen. So it's a very minor detail, but it did throw me off for timing. So if you're used to the split screen for answering questions on BC, I would probably stick with the split screen for the DAT. For me, I did the full passage, and I feel like because I didn't have those questions in front of me, that it kind of gave me a false sense of, it made me mentally think that I had more time to read this whole passage. For biology, of course, this one is always going to be more challenging because biology is a broad topic. So how I would study for biology is to really get the gist of each subject. I wouldn't worry so much about going into depth or into deep detail. With studying, I would worry more about understanding the gist of the concepts. So, for example, I had a question on ranking the order of development. or developmental structures. So it gave me the option of zygote, morula, blastula, blastocyst, nuclea. So each of those structures, so for example, like I would study each of those structures, how many cells they had, what types of layers that they contained, and what each layer did, things like that. But I didn't study the order. So that's what I mean by not forgetting the basics. So understand the gist of the material, not so much the depth of it, if that makes sense. The Gen Chem was very similar to boot camp. In my opinion, I thought it was almost identical. It was a lot of, if I had 9 grams of this and react it with 10 grams of this, how much of the product will I get? Or if I have this much of the product, how much of this did I have? How much of this reactant did I have? Those types of questions. There were some questions where you didn't have to solve the equation, but you did have to give the answer that had the correct setup. So, like, there's the Faraday equation. I didn't have to solve it, but I had to know the formula to choose the correct equation setup. OChem was very similar to boot camp. I didn't feel, this section I did get a 16. I didn't feel like OChem was different from boot camp. I thought it was the same. The only thing that I was like annoyed about was that they named the compounds, so I had to draw them out, so that did take time. The DAT was it was manageable. It really wasn't that bad. So if you're going into it and you have your exam coming up, like please do not worry, because I want you to learn from my experience, and I did my best not to worry, but at the end of the day, I worried so much because, and it's natural to worry about things because this is something that we all really want. Like, this is something for me that I've sacrificed a lot in my life to do, and to become a dentist. I've left a full-time job where I was making so much money, and now I'm making like, not even a third of what I used to make. And so it's been hard. I didn't always have the support that I needed to get through college, and so it's been a hard journey. At the end of the day, I'm really proud of my scores. It's not the score that I wanted, and it's not a score that's going to get me into dental school at the moment, but it's a score that reflects the battle that I went through during the summer. So I'm going to make a separate video, a second video for other stuff related to the DAT, but I just wanted to make a general video based on my experience, my scores, and what I did, so that you can learn from my experience and do better. So that is the purpose of this video. I wish you guys all the luck in the world. You're gonna be amazing. You're gonna do amazing. You guys are already amazing people. You've come this far, and you didn't come this far just to throw everything away. This is just a hurdle that we all have to get through to get where we want to go. So if you don't get a good score on your DAT, don't be discouraged. Like, use that as motivation to go in there and kill it the next time. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm not discouraged about my scores. I'm not embarrassed about them, hence me posting this video. I'm actually very proud of them because I never thought that I would even get to the point of even taking the DAT. So this is amazing for me, but I know that I have work to do, and I will do whatever it takes because I'm passionate about being a dentist, and I'll do whatever it takes for me to push myself to get where I want to go. So stay motivated, stay happy, you got this, don't worry, everything is going to work out, and really, really, really believe in yourself. Do not get nervous, because I promise you it's not that bad as we're all in our heads making it to be. So just stay calm. You got this. And wherever you're not succeeding, as far as like your practice exams, whatever area you're not succeeding, just take time to really go over that material so that you can get better scores going forward in the practice exams that you take. I would recommend starting practice exams 3 weeks prior to your to your testing date because I took practice exams the week before my exam, which sucks because I found that the practice exams were more effective than me just going over material. So I probably at the least would start 3 weeks prior to my test. At the most, of course, like maybe a month or over a month, but at least 3 weeks prior to your testing exam, I would start doing practice exams because those were helpful for me, but I didn't have enough time to really go over and test myself on what I needed to still do, and I didn't have time to go over the material that I needed to still do. So that's why I say 3 weeks. If you have any questions, feel free to leave comments below. You can always hit me up on Instagram at Jazzy's Victoria. Send me a DM. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. I hope that this video was helpful to you guys. I didn't do well on the DAT. I'm not ashamed to say that, and but I will do better. I can do better, and this is just motivation for me to get in there and kill it the next time. So don't be discouraged. You know, it's not the end of the world. You're smarter than you think you are, so do not get nervous. You've got this. Don't worry. All glory to God. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And like, comment, whatever. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day and happy studying.